Hi, and welcome to yet another storytelling audit. Today, I have a great video that was submitted by a subscriber here on YouTube, or if you're watching on LinkedIn. This is my weekly review of a business owner's storytelling, and we go through a video together live. And we talk about everything in terms of a storytelling lens. So, we talk about the hook, we talk about the storytelling technique, we talk about how you seed your offers throughout the video. And the goal here is really to give back, to really show you how you can apply some of the storytelling frameworks and things that I teach on my channel and in my LinkedIn to your own content. And this is a really great way for you to put forward some of your content, get some eyeballs on what you're doing, and pick up some really good feedback that will help you as you continue to create videos that will grow your business. If we haven't met already, my name is Shirley Engel. I'm a former television reporter turned entrepreneur, and I now help entrepreneurs, business owners, people building personal brands grow those brands through video storytelling. It's not enough to just show up and be great on camera. You've got to have a really good story to tell. And so today I'm really excited to dive into a video where we can really take things step by step and break it down. This one was submitted by Mayan Reddy. And Mayan, tell me in the chat if you're here. I know you had the notify bell so that you wouldn't miss this live today. If you're someone who's curious about this, you want to get your video submitted and you want me to take a look at it, what you do is you look out for the community post on my YouTube channel. You have to be subscribed. You got to hit that notify bell. And every so often I'll drop a post and I'll say, hey, submit your video for me to consider. And then what I do is I do not watch these videos in advance. I have not seen Mayan's video. I have the link all called up here and I'm ready to dive into it. But one of the reasons I do that is, well, there's two reasons for it. The first is I want to approach it like a cold viewer, just like you. And if I review it in advance and make a ton of notes, then it gives me time to like process and think. And that's not what we want here. What we want is a cold take. I am new to this video. I have no idea what it's about. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to watch it just like a viewer would. The second reason I do this is because, I hear this a lot and I feel this a lot. We're in an era of AI content slop. There is AI content everywhere. So, how do you know if people are the real deal? This is my way to show you that I'm the real deal. I know my stuff. I've been doing this for 20 years and I know video storytelling. That is my superpower. So, you will see in these lives whether your video is being reviewed or whether you're watching someone else's video being reviewed. You're going to be able to pick up practical tips and see that this isn't just stuff I got from ChatGPT. I didn't just plug something in and go, here, give me a critique that I can say on air. Like I'm actually doing this live. So let's do it. Are we ready to do it? Before we jump in, I'm just going to dive into my YouTube studio real fast just to see, do we have any comments? Let me know where you're tuning in from. Hi, Mayan, I see you. You're here. By the way, am I pronouncing your name right? Mayan, let me know in phonetically if that's right. I'm very excited to jump into your video and I have it called up. I'm going to pull the chat out so that I can grab it and pull it over here so that I can look at the chat while we're doing this. All right, welcome to live chat. We're here, we're going, and we're ready. Now I'm going to go back to Ecamm. And the good news is I've mastered the audio glitch. I have a stream deck here, and this is the video we're going to be watching by Mayan. So South Africa, I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, let's hit play. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of it, and then I'll stop, we'll talk about it, I'll ask questions. And if you're tuning in live, I'd love for you to weigh in the chat, let us know what you think. If you're watching the replay, you can also let us know what you think. So this is going to be a great way for us to get together, crowdsource some feedback. I want you to know I am a storytelling expert, but so are you because you're an audience member. You're someone watching this cold for the first time, just like me. And if you have some great constructive feedback for Mayan, please do Mayan. Okay, she's telling us it's Mayan. Hello, nice to see you. If you have any feedback whatsoever, and let's be nice, right? Mayan is putting herself forward. She's getting her video reviewed. And, this can be confronting for some people. So I'd love for you to weigh in as well, because I think as a group, we can really give Mayan some constructive feedback. And that's not just like, oh, fix this, change this, but like, do you like it? Is it resonating? Let her know. How cool is it to get feedback in real time? So we've got some great feedback in the chat already. Ireland, Australia, South Africa. Welcome to everyone watching. Are you guys ready? I think I've delayed this too long. Let's get into it. I'm going to hit play and let's just take it in. What we're going to do is we're going to take in the first minute. I always say the first 30 seconds are key, right? Those are the 30 seconds where people are deciding whether they're going to watch or not. I'm going to give it until a minute because I want to see what do we get in the first minute. So without further ado, I'm going to hit play and let's watch together. Let me know in the chat if there's any audio issues, but I think we're probably good.
Picture this. You're the one everyone turns to. You're the capable one, the responsible one, the one who quietly gets things done. Every single time. On paper, you're winning. You're trusted, you're praised, you're even promoted. But quietly within, something feels off. And you feel drained, your days feel heavy. Your energy does not equate to what's on your to-do list because everything is a drag. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, why am I successful, but I feel disengaged? You're not alone, and know this, it's not motivation. This is what we call the competence trap. Today we're going to name it, we're going to try and understand it, and look at a few shifts that we can make that can help reduce that drain.
Okay, so we're about a minute, 10 seconds in, and the first thing I want to say is I really like the vibe. I like your presentation. I like how you are bringing us in, but I didn't know who you were talking to for a while. So right off the top, you're building up a scenario. You're starting with a story, but it kind of feels very generic, right? Like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to a manager? Are you talking to an employee? Who's good at their job? Like, I think that kind of laser specificity, and let us know in the chat. Is there a very specific type of worker you're speaking to here? Why being good at your job? I mean, this title is something that could grab someone, but I think there needs to be a bit more specificity. And you get, like, I want to praise you for getting to that competency trap at around the minute mark. But I think it takes us a little too long to know where we're going. Why are we watching this? You're outside on a beautiful sunny day, there's trees. I would have a little less room above your head, by the way, because I think you need to take up a little bit more of the screen if we really want to present that authority, because we're talking about work and competency, right? And by having too much of the background around you, you're kind of shrinking yourself down. This is not so much about the on-camera presence part, but that's something I noticed immediately here. I love the light on your face. I love how you present yourself. So just a little bit of a tip there. I'm going to look at the chat for a moment. So Mayan is saying that you're speaking to 9 to 5 professionals at any level. Okay. So I think we need a little bit more of that tension at the top. Picture this is a really great way to get into it, but maybe you can start immediately with an identifier. So I want to go back to the beginning because remember, the hook is the very most important part of the video. So let's go right back to the top. Let's watch it one more time. We're going to do the first 30 seconds. And now that I've said that, let's talk in the chat and let's brainstorm. How can we make this more compelling at the top? Because remember, most of your people are going to decide in the first 30 seconds if they want to keep watching.
Picture this. You're the one everyone turns to. You're the capable one, the responsible one, the one who quietly gets things done. Every single time. On paper, you're winning. You're trusted, you're praised, you're even promoted.
So the first hint that you're talking about work is at 22, 23 seconds. You could have easily been talking about family life. You're the one that everybody goes to. So do you see what I mean? Let's name it right at the beginning. You're the one at work that everybody goes to, right? So I think immediately you could get people into that headspace of, okay, this is for me. Because one thing that we really want to do in our videos is we want our viewers to self-select. What does that mean? It means that when they start watching, they need to know right at the beginning, oh, I'm out. I don't want to watch a video about work. Cool. Very good. Or you want someone to self-select and be like, oh, I need to watch this. This part might be a little counterintuitive for people because you might think, well, no, I want views. I want as many views as possible. If you're doing this for business, if you're doing this to grow your personal brand and get clients, that is not the goal. The goal is not to have anyone and everyone watch it. The goal is to have the right people watch it. So by calling in that avatar right off the top, and you don't necessarily have to say their job title or get super specific unless it's relevant to the video. But I think in this case, Mayan, it would be really helpful to actually call out that it's about work. I know you have work in your title, but sometimes people don't read the title when they're watching the video at first. So 20 seconds, the first 20 seconds. Exactly, exactly. So I like that you're painting a scenario. Let's go into a little bit more of the meat when you start to get to the meat of the video. Because another thing that if you're watching this, whether you're watching live or you're here watching the replay, is in this day and age, what I'm seeing is you need to get to the meat faster. So I like what you've done here. I like that at a minute, I know what we're getting into, because something that even I was doing in my own videos that I was getting feedback on is you tell a story. If the story is really compelling, absolutely, let's get into it. But if you're starting with something broader like this one, where you don't have a specific story you're telling, you do want to get to the point of what you're going to say pretty quickly, and then you can go back and continue the story, if that makes sense. So let's go back and watch the next little bit together.
Quietly within, something feels off. And you feel drained, your days feel heavy. Your energy does not equate to what's on your to do list because everything is a drag. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, why am I successful, but I feel disengaged? You're not alone, and know this, it's not motivation. This is what we call the competence trap. Today, we're going to name it, we're going to try and understand it, and look
I think we should understand it, not try. So be careful with words in your scripts that make it sound like you're not even sure you'll deliver yourself, if that makes sense. It's so subtle, but some of those qualifier words or the little words we sprinkle in that make us sound less certain, things like kind of, we're going to try. No, we're going to understand it because you're the expert. So let's go.
look at a few shifts that we can make that can help reduce that drain and get us through the day. Your competence can work against you. You're the competent one, the reliable one, the one.
So I think at this point, we're now going back to repeat the hook, right? We're saying the same thing again. And so at this point, and I'd be curious, Mayan, to look at your analytics. And I don't know if you've done this, let us know in the chat. What does your graph look like? And for those of you who don't know what that means, if you go into your YouTube analytics and you click into the content, you click into this video, it will show you where people are starting to drop off in your content. And those are extremely important cues for you. And this is a YouTube specific thing, by the way, but some of the other platforms have stats like this. This is really important messaging information for you about your messaging. Because if you notice a point where people just suddenly start to drop off, and I'd be curious if this is one of those points in your graph, it's when you start to repeat something. So if you land a good line or you have a concept or some kind of thought that you've put in, when you are going through your video, you really want to be ruthless about cutting repetition. And I feel like we're getting into repetition here. The other thing I want to point out is I'm still not quite sure if this is a video about how to feel more motivated at work or how to not like be good at my job, but not, like I'm still not quite sure what exactly I'm going to get out of the video. What is the competency trap? So I think we need to get to that a little bit faster here.
One that gets things done. So, what happens? People, your seniors, your team members tend to give you more work. And it's not necessarily work that energizes you, but because you're competent, it lands on your lap. And that's where your competence starts working against you. So when you're identified as competent, it's not because you asked for more work, but it keeps coming to you because
Is anybody noticing the music? So this is another thing that I see a lot of people doing in their videos is they want to bring in music, but it's so important to strike the right tone with that music. So this music is very sort of uplifting, a little bit corporate. It doesn't quite match the tone of what you're saying. And when we think about video storytelling, you really want to make sure that the music matches where you want to go, what you want the viewer to feel at this specific point. So I would have chosen a track here that had a little bit more tension in it, a little bit more sort of grabbing at the person. Like, yeah, I do feel that. Yeah, this does frustrate me. Just making sense. Let me know in the chat, Mayan.
people know you'll get it done. You become the default person, the person who will fix things, who will be able to turn things around at the last moment. You're the person that delivers no matter what. And people will gravitate towards that. And yes, they will even take advantage of that.
So it's now another minute, and we still haven't quite figured out where we're going with this. So just something to keep in mind in terms of the pacing. So if you're thinking about your own video as you're watching this, are you doing that? Even if you have a preamble, is it advancing the story? Something I want you to think about, even in long form videos, this video is 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Every video, even the longer ones, everything you're saying needs to lead the person to the next thing you're going to talk about, right? So, one mistake that a lot of people make in their videos is they think, okay, I did my hook at the beginning and now I'm done. Let me know in the chat if this is something that you've done. You actually need to keep re-hooking your viewer. What does that mean? That means that probably, and I wouldn't give it like a finite time because every video is different and it depends what you're talking about. It depends on your niche. But every like minute or so, or I'd say 1 to 2 minutes, you want to re-hook your viewer. So, I mean, that doesn't mean you have to get all stressed about, oh, I need to think of another hook. But a hook could simply be, and this is what that means. And this is why that matters. It's like a transition phrase, a bridge phrase that gets the person watching to be like, oh, okay, I need to listen to this next thing. In communications, and I've coached many executives on communications, if they're speaking to the media or if they're, doing a big talk, what we call this is actually flagging. So one way to look at it is you're rehooking your viewer. Another way to look at it is you're flagging something for the viewer. You're literally waving a flag and saying, I'm about to say something important, so you better listen, right? So when you think of rehooking the viewer, think about it as what flag can I wave here? And they can be very simple lines. And this is why that matters, right? And this is what that costs you. We haven't yet gotten into that as well. We're looking for, okay, what is the cost of doing this? What is the cost of the competency, right? And, where are we taking this? So that, yes, rehook your viewer. Exactly. Exactly. I'm just checking out the chat. I'm sure your videos are great. Don't worry. Okay, let's keep going. 218. We're
So
moving on.
over time, your workday fills up with what you're competent at.
I'm not sure what that cutaway was for. Understanding you don't necessarily have to be in the exact environment you're talking about, but just think about every time you cut away to something. I know you're trying to create some visual interest and, cutting away from you. I do encourage you to use B-roll if you can, but we want to avoid what I call wallpapering. Wallpapering is just throwing random B-roll shots on top of what you're talking about. We're not trying to put up wallpaper. Just like the music should be paired with what you're saying, the B-roll should be paired with what you're saying as well. And sometimes, if you don't have a relevant piece of B-roll or you're not sure what to cut to, you can simply change the framing on you. So you can go in a little bit closer, pull away, maybe do a little bit of an animation or a movement or something like that. If you're using a editing software like CapCut, they're very easy transitions you can do. Yes, you're still learning. We're all still learning.
And
That's
not
what it's for.
necessarily what energizes you. So here the key takeaway is competence.
There you go. You just did it. You did it. Here, the key takeaway is round of applause. That's a hook. Because, oh, what is the key takeaway? Okay, I was listening to this, but I'm not really sure where she's going. Okay, now she's going to give me the key takeaway. So that was good.
Attracts more competence work, and not necessarily the work that energizes you, that fulfills you, that makes you feel as if you providing value and have a sense of purpose. And remember, when that purpose diminishes, then you question your worth as well. For high performers, everything.
I'm dying to know if you're going to tell me what to do about it. Like, is there going to be a payoff here where you're telling me that later on in the video, if this is you, like at this point, I don't see myself in this anymore. If this is you, I'm going to tell you how to fix this. I mean, you don't have to use those words, but I haven't yet been invited to do something about it. There is a very, very important job we have to illuminate the issue, talk about the pain points, as we like to call them, but you also need to hint that you're going to offer relief, because if you think about it, you're building up the tension. You're building up this pressure in a pressure cooker. And at some point, you're going to release the pressure valve. But the person watching needs to stay watching long enough to get there. So in addition to that rehooking the viewer, as you're doing your storytelling or you're taking someone through your video, you want to make sure they know that the relief is coming.
Ends up being urgent and important. Step back, think about it. Why do you think that happens? You're trusted. People know that you will get things done. You're fast. And people know even if they give it to you at the 11th hour, you'll turn it around and you'll get it done.
Again, we're repeating what we've already said. So I'm
You're
going to speed
dependable.
things up a little bit
People
here.
know that you will absorb that risk. You will take it on as if it was your own. So the more reliable you are, the more the system leans on you. Doesn't it feel that we shouldn't be competent, right? Because the more competent we are, the more work we have. And it's really not about having too much of work. It's about how that work makes you feel. You feel drained at the end. You're absorbing other people's timelines, deadlines, stress.
So do you see, Mayan, how you're still at the 4-minute mark talking about the same kind of thing? You're circling the same point. So, this could have been compressed into a short, really pithy opening, and then we're going to get to, okay, well, here's the patterns, here's what we do about it. And it's not just what you do about it, it's also what are the signs that you know this is you? So you could still talk about the same point, but try to get at it from different angles, from different types of scenarios. Even better than that, by this point, you could have a story. You could have a specific example. Take Sally, for example. Sally was an executive or is an executive at this communications firm, and she's known for X. Well, Sally tackled this really big project. And when Sally and I worked together, if you're looking to have people know, well, does she help me with this? Is this something that I could ask her about? Can I work with her? You could have been seeding that already through this video. Even if that's not something that you're looking to do, telling a story and giving a specific character or painting a picture for the viewer by this point, I think would have really helped to elevate this idea of, okay, well, what does this actually look like? We know it's getting more work thrown at you because you're competent, you're going to do it quickly, but like, how else could this show up?
So that doesn't work for you. how it takes shape and form is you're firefighting always. Instead of having downtime, thinking time, creative time, you're fixing things instead of shaping,
Another
being
random B-roll.
proactively shaping. You're always on the back foot trying to fix things. Instead of working ahead of time, somebody else's delay, somebody else's problem. Often your seniors become your issue, and you have to find ways to troubleshoot, to fix those issues, to turn it around at the last moment. And that places pressure on you. I know when I get things at the last moment, as I'm working through that deliverable, I can feel it, and I know my heart is pounding. My head is also pounding. Also, there's an unsettling.
Oh, wow, the heartbeat thing. That's a really interesting addition of a sound effect. You could explore, is there a visual that you could include that would help bring that to life a little bit?
Feeling in my stomach, that's stress. So you must be cognizant of how does that stress show up for you. Also, you're reacting more than you're deciding. There's things that's always thrown at you. So it's react mode as opposed to proactive mode.
So right now you're describing what you said you were going to do, right? You're talking about the competency trap. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Throughout this part, I would be reminding the viewer what we're talking about because you had laid out a concept. So, and this is a telltale sign of the competency trap, right? Like throughout the video, so we know we're still on topic, if that makes sense, because you have set up like a framework or a concept at the beginning. And now you're really doing what you said you were going to do. You're talking about how to recognize it. What is it? And we're hopefully going to get to what you do
it
about
also shows up by you being busy all the time as opposed to you being effective. So you're doing work. Your days are busy, but you're not effective. So we need to distinguish between the energy drain and time drain. You're putting time in, but it is sapping your energy. When you're bombarded with urgent and important work, it drains you. So it's not a mindset issue. It's actually an energy issue. So here are a couple of shifts that you can make to see how you can change things.
Okay, here's another hook. You did it. That's great. You rehooked the viewer again at 6:18. So recognize if you're watching this, just see how we get these rehooks and how they pique your attention. Again, go back into your analytics, check the analytics for this video, and check what happens to the graph at 6 minutes and 18 seconds. I'm curious.
Oh, you can feel.
You can let us know in the chat if you're able to check while we're talking.
More energized in the day. Separate work you get from others.
Ooh, what was that?
And change things, how you can feel more energized in the day. Separate work you get from others.
What was the one that kind of came out of nowhere? What's nice with the graphics is pairing them with voice so that the viewer can know where you're going.
The urgent and important work that lands on your desk that you need to sort out with energizing work. Work that you absorb doesn't mean it's energizing, but you still have to do it. So you do that, but make space for work that also energizes you. Is it creating something, thinking through a problem, helping a colleague, or being a mentor to somebody? What is the work that actually energizes you? Identify that and make space for that as well in your workday, instead of just absorbing what's urgent and what's important. Not all valuable work is energizing, and not all.
Okay, so another use of music just to think about. I'm going to scroll ahead a little bit just so that we get to the ending so that we can see like how do we land this plane? Where do we go?
On the fly, you need to reposition yourself as the thoughtful partner who
Okay, Mayan said she can't check analytics at the moment. That's okay, no problem. Just something to look at after. And if you're watching this either live or on the replay, something for you to go check as well. Some actionable, helpful advice for after you do a video and you release it. You always want to go back and check these things.
protects outcomes. Falling in love with your job doesn't mean that your job may be wrong. It just means that your competence has been overused, perhaps even abused, and your energy has not been protected. When you start noticing the work that quietly
So I just want to show you quickly, Mayan, do you see how you're at the bottom of the frame and I am actually drawn to the trees behind you rather than you. So if you brought the camera down to your eye level so that your eyes landed in the top portion of the screen and you took up more of the space, it would feel less like a shaky vlog and more like an authority kind of video.
back to you, as opposed to the work that steadily takes from you, then you can start rebalancing. It's not about doing less, but it's about doing the right things intentionally. So with that small shift, that's how work starts feeling more meaningful again, and how you protect the career that you spent so much time and effort to build. And why is that important? Because you matter.
Okay, so at the end, this is an opportunity that you have to send the viewer to another video. So, something that you can do at the end rather than kind of letting it trail off is say, and if you struggle with X, Y, Z, or another video that's a related video, this is a good opportunity. You have to know this when you're filming it for you to tease to another video. And then you can actually go in and select the video that you want the user to or the viewer to watch next. So that's a really great way to direct viewers to the next video on YouTube. Another great thing to do, which I'm doing more and more in my content, I have a video coming out on Monday, which is going to be, I've been working on it for a while. It's something that I'm really excited about. It's all about ChatGPT cliches and what you should never use or say. And I have an actual product that you can download to help you with that. So, is there something that you have that you can offer the viewer if they want to take the next step? Do you have a guide or some kind of resource that they can watch or read? Or is there another video? Or, do you have anything you could help them with if they want to go deeper, either into the topic or perhaps with you? Maybe they want to reach out to you and ask you to speak privately about this video because something about it really resonated with them and they want help with that. Or maybe they love what you said, but they're not quite sure how to interpret that or how to apply it to their own situation. So, this is a really great way that people, particularly business owners, entrepreneurs, personal brands, people trying to build audiences, maybe you have an email list or you want to be able to engage people off the platform. Remember, we don't own any of these audiences or any of these platforms, they can change at any moment. So, you really want to be able to get people into your community, into your world. So, there were lots of opportunities for you, Mayan, to get people off the platform, to interact with you, to reach out beyond just commenting. The other thing is, one thing that a lot of people do is they say, comment on this video. Comment what? A lot of people just kind of leave because they're like, well, I don't know what to comment on unless they really have something burning they want to say. So, what you can think about in another video is ask them a specific thing to comment on. So, if you feel this, or if there's ever been a time that you felt overlooked at work, tell us the story in the comment. Let us know in the comment, or, something that you want to use to engage conversation, to get people to interact with you. It's a really great way to do that in your video. Um, Yes. Okay. So let's just check the chat. I need to improve how I use my mobile camera. I'm always cutting off my face. Don't worry. That's what these things are for. Actually, interestingly enough, after this live, I'm working on a resource called Studio in a Box. And it's all about either setting up your home studio or how to frame yourself and how to fix your on camera. There's the presence part, but there's also your background, your audio, your lighting, how you come across. So that's really exciting. And actually, I'm editing the lesson about this very thing. So I'm going to hop off this live and go work on that. Coming soon. Let me know if that's something that you need. So overall, I just want to say thank you so much, Maya. And that was a really great example of an opportunity for more storytelling, for weaving in some personal anecdotes. If you don't have any examples of, John or Sally or someone you've worked with or someone you've helped or someone, that you can think of, you can also talk about hypothetical examples. You can talk about what really works as your own example, your own experience in the workplace, because this expertise is coming from somewhere. And something that I didn't get in that video is, who are you and why are you talking about this, right? It's just a line. You just have to say it as a line close to the top. Why are you the authority to speak on this? And you don't want to harp on this. You don't want to give a long elevator pitch. People want you to get to the point. But don't be shy about introducing yourself in videos, especially if it's a cold audience. If you're attracting new people all the time, they're not necessarily going to go to your channel, read your bio, see who you are. They're just watching a video. They have no idea who you are and why you're speaking to them about this. So adding that layer of authority really does help also for retention, for like, why should you listen to me? So overall, I think what I want to leave you with is, and this is for anybody watching, I want you to answer a couple of key questions in every piece of video content that you produce, particularly if you are a business owner, if you're a personal brand, you're building something that you want to monetize. Number one, totally the most important question I want you to ask yourself is a tough one. Why should I care? And by I mean the viewer. Why should I care? Right? You got to answer that in the first few seconds, not even 30 seconds, but first few seconds. Why should I care? The second one is, why should I listen to you? Right? Who are you and why should I listen to you? The third one sounds very transactional, but hey, these are the times we live in. What am I going to get? And that's kind of open ended. Am I going to get knowledge? Am I going to get an epiphany? Am I going to get a shift in a belief? Am I going to get a framework for something I can change and apply to my life? Why should I watch this? Right? And then the last one is, what do I do if I want more? Okay, so let's go through them one more time. Why should I care? Why should I listen to you? What am I going to get? And where do I go if I want more? Answer those 4 questions in your content, and you are going to be way above where you were before and way above a lot of other people trying to do the same thing. So, yes, thank you so much for sharing your channel. If you want your video to be reviewed, please go to my community posts. I have posts where I ask you to drop the links. You can also drop a link below this video in the comments. The live chat disappears after this live, but you can drop a message under this video. If you're watching on LinkedIn, you can also comment on LinkedIn with a video. So overall, I hope this was helpful. I am so happy that you all tuned into this. And I hope that you got something, a couple nuggets to make your next video that much more engaging and that much more effective for your goals with your video marketing. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next week.